And we get to example 2. Graham walks 8 blocks from his home to the library. Okay. So I'm going to draw out. Oh, this is not quite a square. There's a square. And Graham's house, he walks home from the library. He walks 4 blocks east and 4 blocks south. So would you say his home is here and the library is down here? That makes sense. He walks to the east and south. How many ways can he get there? So for example, we are assuming that Graham has intelligence. And if he's going to the library, he doesn't do something like this. Oh, wait a minute, where's the library? Okay, this is not how Graham is going to get to the library. He is efficient and he knows what he's doing. Does it make sense that he always has to go forward to the east? This would be one way he could do it, right? He could also do that. That's still 4 this way and 4 down. So you could figure out here, if I just draw a bunch, are you counting? How many are we at? I haven't done that one, I haven't done this one. We could just keep drawing paths on there, but that's going to be a problem. How is this like a Mississippi question? And this is where things in this unit start to get a little bit complicated, in that you get a new question and you have to recognize, hey, I could do this by thinking of Mississippi. Why? Because if I take this path, do you see that this path is going east, 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 and then south, 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 south? And now you're like, hey, there's some identical objects here. How many ways can he go there? Well, if they were all different directions, all different letters, that would be 8 factorial. But we have identical E's and identical S's, so we get 4 factorial and 4 factorial to divide out, and we get our final answer. This would be a calculator question. Can you type that into your calculator and get 70? Another way that we could do this question is counting it slowly. For example, if the library was right here, I'll use red so we can see it even better. If the library was right there, can you see that there's only one pathway to get there? If the library was right here, there would only be one pathway to get there. Technically, all of these ones, if the library was, all of these ones, you see there's still only one pathway to get there. Like, even though it's 2 blocks, there's only the one pathway. And all of these would be 1 and 1 and 1 as well. What if the library was here? Can you count, like, it's close enough that we don't have to do any fancy math with the Mississippi. Could you count how many ways they could get there? 2, right? You could go over and down, or down and over. We would get 2 ways to get there. How about this dot? Go over and down and over, and down, over, over. Do you agree that this is going to be 3? Similarly, this is going to be 3 as well. I'm going to fill in this one as is 4, and this one is 5, and this one is 4, and this one is 5. And I want to see if you can come up with a pattern and figure out and count for me how many are going to be at that dot. Because there's a shortcut to figuring out how many are going to be there. You can still count them all to check, but see if you can figure out the shortcut. Any guesses? Any ideas? 6 ways to get there. What about this one? 10, and this one is 10. Now I'm going to leave it for a bit for those that haven't seen the shortcut. See if you can figure out what the shortcut is for counting the next dots. In the end, we want this number to be 70. What are these 3? Now see if this makes sense to you. This 20. If I could get here in 10 different ways, and I could get here in 10 different ways, does it make sense that this is 20? Because I can get to this point either through these 10 or through those 10. So 10 plus 10 makes 20. And then 20 plus 15 makes 35, and 20 plus 15 is 35, and 35 plus 35 is 70, which is the same answer that we got through our counting squad. This method's really nice because if all of a sudden you're walking to the library and a couple streets there's been an accident so you can't walk on them and they've got things shut down, we can still use this method for any street blocks, even if there's a park in between that you're not allowed to walk through because that's where they put all the rabid dogs or something like that. I don't know. Okay, questions for practice on this one. Just number 12. But what we're seeing right now is like the Mississippi questions can get disguised, right? Like arranging the cereal boxes, it was like 5 of the cereal boxes were identical. It was easy to see that it was an identical object question. This one, until we thought about the pathway, we're like, okay, every time I rearrange this word, I get a new pathway, and I have identical E's and identical S's. It's a little bit harder to see. Yes?